Hello, hello. It's Speak Now. 1. Lesson 30, Part B. Part B. We are talking about the past. Do you remember this lesson? We talked about the past last lesson, and we were talking about the past, asking questions about past events, like they talked about what they did during the weekend, what they did. Do you remember Terry and Sarah? And we talked about past expressions, pastime expressions, last year, last week, last month, the day before yesterday, yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, last night, this morning. They are all pastime expressions. And we talked about things we did. Remember that? Do you remember that? I saw a movie the day before yesterday. I called my friend. I went to a shopping center. I ate a piece of cake. And it was funny. No. Oh, I didn't know. If I press Alt, I can copy the color. That's nice. I liked that. Look, now I can change the colors. Good. But if we remember the conversation, Terry spent the weekend or last night working from 9 until 11. He started during the afternoon to do the homework, and he finished working at 11. He tried to call Terry or Sarah, and she didn't answer the phone. She went to a movie, so she was watching a film in the cinema, and he was doing the homework. And he finished this morning, so he worked a lot. And she says, "Can you help me?" It seems that she didn't do anything connected to the homework. Very funny, really. But now let's work on the new lesson. That is part B. And we start with the last language booster. And here we compare different ways we talk about past events. Look, these three questions are in the past. We have did, we have did, and we don't have did here. Why? Because it's verb to be, right? Easy? Look, let's see the questions. Did you finish the homework? Repeat. Did you finish the homework? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. You see, we have the verb finish. We have the main verb finish. We have the main verb do, fazer. And these verbs ask for an auxiliary verb in the past simple, right? Good. So, did you finish the homework? Yes, I did. Were you home last night? I was. No, I wasn't. Well, if you ask me, were you at home last night? I would say, yes, I was. Okay. What did you do last night? I went to a movie. Well, I watched a movie at home. But look at the difference here. Were you home? And did you stay home last night? You want to know the same thing. But here, were you home? It's verb to be. But if you have the main verb stay, ficar, Did you stay home last night? Then you have this answer here. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Right? So let's try to remember the use of verb to be and verb do, the auxiliary, because if we have a main verb, we use the auxiliary. Were you home? Yes, I was. Did you watch TV yesterday? Yes, I did. There was Formula One, there was tennis in Wimbledon, and so on. Where did you go after your last English class? My last English class, I believe I stayed home. Yes, last week I didn't go out much. Yes, my last lesson was on Friday. I taught English. No, I went to a meeting. Yes, I saw some friends in a meeting. Where did you go after your last English class? And you, did you watch TV yesterday? Where did you go after your last English class? You tell me. I'd really like to know. And let's practice something new here with pronunciation. Past tense endings. Como é que é o final do passado quando a gente tem um verbo regular? Olha só, tem 3 pronúncias diferentes. Como assim? Mas não era regular? É. Yes. Watch becomes watched. Called becomes called. And need becomes needed. We have these 3 sounds. Listen and practice and notice the different past tense endings. Vou tocar no áudio aqui. Presta atenção que a gente vai ter verbos diferentes que a gente vai colocar aqui. Oh no, sorry. First, we are only going to listen to these 3 sounds. Okay, 3 words.
Page 75. Pronunciation. A. Listen and practice. Notice the different past tense endings. Watched.
Watched. You see, it isn't watched. Watched. No, that's not the correct pronunciation. It's watched with a T sound.
Called.
So verb call is called. It isn't called. It isn't called. Muito menos called. I called her yesterday. Please don't say that way. It's called. Right? And finally,
Needed.
needed. Needed. Não é needed, right? Needed. Good. But let's take a look again at these 3 sounds.
Notice the different past tense endings.
Look at the first
Watched.
one. Watched. Look, what's the rule here? Basically, we have a sound here, watch, and this ch asks for a T sound. Então você não pronuncia o E e ele fica watch. Que sons fazem isso? Ó, finished, worked, skipped. Que sons que são esses? São sons que não vibram a garganta, são sons de consoante. Então, s, sh, p, k. Esses sons, basicamente. Então, tem outros? Tem. Deixa eu ver. P, yes. São vários sons que você não vibra a garganta. Então, sh, sh. e por aí vai. Então, todos esses verbos vão ter o som de t. É mais fácil daqui. Ó, são verbos que vibram a garganta. São sound consonants, aquelas meio nasais, nasaladas. E também, quando a gente tiver um som de vogal antes do id, right? So, stayed, played. E aqui, turned, todos esses sons, eles vão pedir um D sound. Então você vai falar o verbo e depois você só fala o D. Called, stayed, played. Você não fala played, stayed. E qualquer outro, turned. No, it's played, stayed, turned. Right? Very important. Não, eu sou o brasileiro de novo. Called. I called her. No, you didn't call her. You called. Needed. No, needed. Needed. Right? Ok, esse caso. Esse caso aqui é quando termina em T ou D. Como assim? Look. Wanted. Waited. Started. Decided. E por aí vai. Cuidado com wanted. Waited. Não, a gente é brasileiro, mas não precisa falar com essa pronúncia. Started. Started. Right? This way. Então, esses são os sons, essas são as formas diferentes de falar o ED. Right? Watched, called, need. Você sabia disso? Já tinha reparado? No? Right. These are regular verbs with these three regular pronunciations. So complete the chart by grouping each word under its correct past tense endings. We have the first one here, watched, finished, kept, worked. Vamos usar aqui o Alt de novo. Tô gostando do negócio aqui. And then we have called. Não é que funciona não. Good. Called. And we have played, stayed, and turned. Right? These three pronunciations. Alt de novo aqui. And then need. We have this before, after the and T. So we have waited, wanted, started. Podiam ter posto um decided. Porque aí teria D, mas aqui já tem um com D. Very nice. Let's listen to these words, okay? And let's make sentences using the words above. Paying attention to the past tense endings. Let's listen to the other one, to these other words.
Page 75. Pronunciation. C. Listen and check your answers. Then make sentences with your partner using the words above. Pay attention to the past tense endings.
Watched. Finished. Skipped. Worked. Called. Played. Turned. Stayed. Needed. Waited. Started. Wanted.
Mas por que eles puseram nessa ordem? Alright. Ah, talvez eles foram na linha, né? Ok. Não, de waited foi para started, pulou wanted. Ah, vai saber, vai entender. But this is it, right? Not too hard, vai. Really. So I played video game yesterday. I didn't finish my homework, my math homework, when I was 10 years old. I stayed home last night. I skipped some exercises and I did the first and the last of the page. I wanted to eat chocolate yesterday and I didn't. But I ate cake and it was delicious. I turned the page of the book. I turned the page of the book. I turned again. I waited for 2 hours until the doctor saw me. I started reading a new book. I worked until late yesterday. So these are the sentences I created. Let's create new sentences during the lesson, okay? And how to finish the lesson? What do we have to do? Find out what your classmates did last weekend. Oh, during the weekend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Let's see. Show interest and ask follow-up questions. Show interest. Não é tão difícil. Mostra que você gostou de saber das boas coisas do seu colega. And then ask follow-up questions. What are follow-up questions? Follow-up questions are when we go further, deeper in the topic. Quando a gente vai e pergunta mais coisas. For example, did you make your dinner? Nice. Where did you buy those lovely tomatoes? Were they tasty? How much did you pay? You see? Did you do anything interesting last weekend? Yes, I did. I cooked dinner for my parents. What did you make? I make salad. Tá bom, vai. Salada. So nutritious, delicious, tasty, healthy. Share the most interesting weekend from your group. Who had the most interesting weekend in the class? So this is about a large class with some more students. If it's a private lesson, we are going to share our experiences, right? So what did you do during the weekend? Come to class prepared to talk a lot about your weekend. I went to try to get my vaccination, but the place was closed when I went there. So sorry. I spent 40 minutes walking, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, and I couldn't find I couldn't get vaccinated. But it happens. I saw my friends, I attended a nice meeting, and I watched a football game, soccer game, if you prefer. It was a wonderful weekend. I can't complain. And you, how was your weekend? Tell me during the live lesson, all right? And see you then. Bye-bye.